make sure that you're playing for that entire 15-20 minutes, that you're playing in time and in tune, no questions asked, because you have a reference to work with, you know. If I only had 15 to 20 minutes a day to practice, what would I do? Great question, Cambo. I would make sure that that whole well-balanced diet that I just spoke about was being tended to in those 20 minutes. And that means just picking a few exercises, maybe exercises that primarily target the thing that would suck the most, you know, whatever it is that you're working on. Some kind of scale study, something, you know, pick the key of the day that you're least familiar with. That's, you know, maybe the chord scale in a piece of in a song. That's the place where you always just kind of, now we're in a chord that I'm more familiar with, you know, or you just resort back to licks or whatever. Take that least familiar chord scale and play all your technical studies in that chord scale. Make sure that there's a good amount of trilling. You know, something like that. You know, make sure that you've got really nice, fat, resonant two-note trills going on, and work your way all the way through your range in that chord scale so that you'll become more familiar with that chord scale. Play a bunch of scale studies, slur them, articulate them with every type of articulation that you feel like you should have in your toolbox. Play super, super quiet and super, super loud in general. Like the majority of if you only have 15 or 20 minutes, then there's no time to waste noodling around in mezzo land. Get to the things that are hardest to accomplish, both physically and regarding just coordination and all that. And that would be as soft as humanly possible and as loud as humanly possible. And if you do the majority of your playing near the extremes, anything in the middle is going to feel super easy in comparison. So, 15, 20 minutes of just kind of noodling, brain droppings, whatever, not going to get you anywhere near as much as if you were to, you know, just do extremely shocking transitions back and forth between super pianissimo and super forte. Maybe it's just like, you know, maybe it's just like straight from hot to cold, or maybe it's, you know, maybe it's crescendos and decrescendos, whatever it is. But find a way to really exercise your dynamic contrast, and that'll keep your chops active in ways that they wouldn't be if you were just hanging out in mezzo land, right? So there's that aspect of it. There's the dynamic contrast, and making sure that you're picking whatever exercises you're doing. Make sure that they are based on the fundamental concept of fine-tuning coordination in a very rudimental way. Fine-tuning the coordination of the basic essential building blocks of other more complex things. You know, then there's also, if it's going to be 15, 20 minutes only, keep the horn on your face the entire time. Do not take the trumpet off of your face for the entire 20 minutes. And when you get tired, I'm going to kind of like simulate being tired. There's your pedal G, right? Best note, that's your best friend right there. If you don't already know that, then say hello to your new best friend. There's a slot for it. You know, and I'll play those pedals instead of taking the horn off my face and letting rest occur at the speed of your circulation. Basically, your chops are going to come back to life after some period of rest because your heart has been pumping blood through your whole body, and eventually it pumps through your chops enough to flush out some lactic acid and to get your chops ready for another round. Resting is nowhere near as restful and rejuvenating as playing in the double pedal register. Playing in the double pedal register gets your chops vibrating much more, and that means out with the old, in with the new much quicker. It means flushing away the lactic acid a lot quicker. It means bringing much more blood much quicker to your face. And so that's one of the biggest things is if I've only got 15, 20 minutes or half an hour, whatever, even if it's an hour, I pretty much never take the horn off my face. I'll just go back and forth between playing my exercises and double pedals. And that also goes for like in the middle of a phrase. If I'm in the middle of, I don't know, it's like I can't hold my chops together anymore. It's like, woo, I'm not getting it. Like the buzzing's not happening. My lips are malfunctioning because they can no longer sustain their, they just need to let go. Okay, woo, done. I will not try to continue going through the exercise, smashing the mouthpiece into my face just to make it through to the end of some arbitrary checkpoint, finish line or anything. I'll just immediately pull the plug and get down into the basement and play those double pedals and get my shit back together. And it's amazing how just 2 minutes of double pedals, between double pedal G down chromatically to double pedal C sharp, it's amazing how quickly that rejuvenates you. It's amazing. And a lot of times when I feel like I'm done for the day, that's that. I'm toast. Which already takes quite a lot. But when I get to that point, if I get to that point on any given day, that I've played that much that I'm stopping, I'm not going to play anymore because I feel like I'm toast, then I'll warm down. And the warm down, double pedals. And what happens when those double pedals, when I'm finished playing some double pedals, let me just check in, let me see. I feel like, man, I feel good. I got that tingle. Whoa, okay, things are back. All right, well, back in the game, and I'll go for another round. And then when I'm tired again, same thing. I'll just get back to double pedals and then, just keep going over and over and over again. So I advocate taking breaks, but I don't advocate taking breaks from the horn. I advocate taking breaks from playing what you're playing to stop and play double pedals. And or like, if you are going to take the horn off your face, let it be wow, whole bunch of potential COVID spraying all over here. Yeah, it's a very wet activity, isn't that? The double buzz, or deep double pedal register buzzing without the horn. Those kinds of buzzing activities, they bring so much good. They bring so much good to your chops in just a couple of minutes. Like you got to do it. So 15, 20 minutes a day to recap. For me, I'm getting to all the food groups. I'm going to slur and single tongue and double tongue. I usually don't triple tongue. I only beef up on that when I need to in a piece, but it rarely ever happens. And I can double tongue evenly enough that whatever, I can. So I don't usually spend any time triple tonguing, but I will hit all my articulation, chosen types of articulation. I will make sure to cover my entire range, make sure to play to even in 15, 20 minutes. If you're playing unfamiliar patterns, then you can still be gaining more harmonic fluency, even in just that short period of time. But you just got to narrow it down to like this one scale that you need to make better friends with, or maybe it's just the passage from this one chord scale into this chord scale. I might spend my time only playing like 5-1 tension release in one particular key, and you're just doing all exploring lots of different ways of resolving from the tension chord, or whatever, something like that. Just stick to one concept and do it a lot. And when you get, and introduce, even though it might be an improvisational concept, musical concept, a harmonic concept, you can still be working on it with your best classical tone, like forte, fortissimo, and pianissimo, again, mind you, and cover your entire range in both of those dynamic levels. And switch into double pedals when necessary. A little bit of lip flexibility exercise, some kind of flexibility exercise, something that's rhythmically, just stay rhythmically sophisticated. Play in tune and in time, which means play along with some kind of practice aid. The apps like iReal Pro or iTabla or Drum Genius or TE Tuner. There's so many out there. No shortage of stuff that you can practice along with, but make sure that you're playing for that entire 15-20 minutes, that you're playing in time and in tune, no questions asked, because you have a reference to work with. That's a great way to squeeze all the juice out of that 15-20 minute practice time.